The Bruins are sitting pretty atop the Atlantic Division, but how long will their reign last? Welcome to Bruins Daily TV. I'm Erika Lee here at Studio 73. Joining me today, Tim Rosenthal. Tim.
Welcome back. I missed you last week, that's for sure.
I know. I missed being here last week. Busy week off. Wasn't like I was just having fun on vacation, unfortunately, but I'm back.
Well, vacation sounds good right about now, but at the same time, we got some hockey to talk about, I think.
It's true. The Bruins are on top of the Atlantic Division now, but are still just so-so in the East with so many competitive teams this season.
Yeah, for sure. But thankfully, they're on top of the Atlantic right now. But the Eastern Conference, as you said, it's not been the best quality of hockey right now. You look at the other side of the division, the Metropolitan Division, you have two teams with a running record in Pittsburgh and Washington, and that's about it. So Bruins are taking advantage of it, and they took care of advantage Tuesday night against the Rangers, even though they didn't play their best hockey. And they're doing well within the division, too. They've already beaten Tampa 3 times, all with Steven Stamkos, we might add. Now they're definitely a different team. Without Stamkos, they're going to need to adjust. And then Detroit's still having an adjustment period in the Eastern Conference as well. And then you look at other teams, Montreal, I still don't think they're ready to climb the Atlantic Division standings yet. Toronto, talented, but they still have some flaws. Ottawa's off to a slow start, and then you have the bottom teams in Florida and Buffalo that are going to continue to be at the bottom. So as long as they take care of business, they'll be okay.
And as you mentioned, the Metropolitan Division is who the Bees are going to be seeing a lot of the next couple of weeks. The Blues, they're going to play the Canes again as well. The Pens twice, they'll take on the Rangers, as you mentioned, who they beat on Tuesday night. And just 3 teams in their own Atlantic Division slotted in there between now and the beginning of December.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity for them to fare well within the Metropolitan, because come the second half of the year, they're going to be seeing the Atlantic Division a lot. They're going to be seeing Montreal 3 times, I believe, in the second half of the year, including a couple times, I believe, after the Winter Olympic break. So that's definitely going to be a spot where they're going to shine. Obviously, Detroit, they have a couple of meetings with them coming up as well. And that's an opportunity for them to try to separate themselves from the Red Wings as well. And you look at the Western Conference, that's definitely the power conference. Even though they lost 2 teams, they lost Detroit and Columbus thanks to realignment. You look at the power out there. They've already seen Colorado and how good they're becoming. Look at what they did to Chicago Tuesday night, 5-1, and against the Bruins, a 1-0 victory as well. So they're certainly separating themselves. And surprising a lot of people, I believe. And then St. Louis coming in Thursday night, that's definitely going to be an interesting challenge, especially since the 2 teams are very similar in the way they play style-wise. So I'm looking forward to how the Bruins fare out.
And one thing we certainly can't fail to mention is the impact of Tuukka Rask this season. Tuesday night, he made 43 saves on 44 shots on goal against the Rangers in their win with the return of Rick Nash. And I think that Tuukka plays such a huge role in these upcoming games against the Metropolitan Division.
If you looked at a definition of standing on your head, you would see Tuukka Rask picture right in there. Don't you agree?
I agree. Something we'll talk about a little bit more when we come back. Is Torrey Krug the early favorite for Rookie of the Year, and is Tuukka Rask a serious candidate for the Vezina? Plus, which Metropolitan Division opponent will the Bees have the hardest time with? That's next when we drop the gloves on Bruins Daily TV. Thanks for joining us on Bruins Daily TV here at Studio 73. Erika Lee alongside Tim Rosenthal, and it's time for us to drop the gloves.
You have a lot of catching up to do. I hope you prepared last week while you were off.
I did. I'm ready.
Good.
Are you
Bring
ready?
it on.
Okay. Well, this season so far, we've spent a lot of time talking about Torrey Krug and Tuukka Rask, and with good reason. Krug might be the candidate for the Calder Trophy, and Tuukka has got to be a serious contender for the Vezina. Which player has a better shot at their respective trophies so far this season?
I'm going to take it a step further. First off, I'm going to answer Tuukka Rask with the Vezina. Second off, I'm even going to put him in consideration for the Hart Trophy. I wrote about this on Boston.com after Tuesday's performance, and like we said before the break, he was literally standing on his head against the Rangers. He's bailed the Bruins out a lot this season, and you look at his numbers, 12-5-1, his save percentage 946, his goals against average well under 2. Those are stellar numbers for any goaltender, and also he's got to be the early favorite to be the starting goaltender for Team Finland. I like what Torrey Krug has done, but I also think there's a deep pool of rookies this year that could easily win the Calder. Krug is definitely a candidate, don't get me wrong, but he's got his work cut out for him, more so than Tuukka.
I have to agree with you that Krug has his work cut out for him, but I think that they're both great early contenders for each of their respective trophies. And I can't disagree about Tuukka. Definitely a contender for the Vezina, possibly for the Hart, as you mentioned, and for the starting goaltender for Finland.
And with Krug, he's tied for second among defensemen in goals still, just trailing Erik Karlsson by 1 in that category. He's definitely been a huge upside for Bruins since he came here during the playoffs last May, and their power play's improved. Defensively, they're getting a lot more offensive on the blue line, and Krug has made an impact for sure, but I think Tuukka's made a bigger impact on the Bruins.
Absolutely. And with such a competitive division, as we mentioned, the Metropolitan is shaping up to have many teams to beat. Which of those teams do you think is going to be the hardest for the Bruins?
They've already faced the Pittsburgh Penguins. They still have Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and a plethora of stars on that team. For sure, they had ease with them during the Eastern Conference Final, but you can't count the Penguins out at all. And Marc-Andre Fleury is playing better this year.
I think the Pens are definitely the team to beat as well, but as we mentioned, the Caps are right up there too. And the Bruins have always had a difficult time with both of those teams. So the Caps and the Pens are the two teams to beat in the upcoming weeks as well as throughout the rest of the season.
And the Rangers, not so much. So much for my early season pick to go to the Stanley Cup Final.
Hey, you never know. Things could change. But next week, this is my personal favorite topic and my personal favorite holiday. It's Thanksgiving. There are so many great things about that day, but what are you most thankful for this year?
As a hockey fan and a hockey writer, I'm thankful that we're in a much better position than we were last year talking about CBA negotiations, whether or not we even have a season, and whether or not we'd have hockey even as far as this year. There is a lot of talk that we might not even have seen a game until the 2014 Winter Classic. Thankfully, we started in January. We saw the Bruins make a run to the Stanley Cup Final again. We're seeing them make another run potentially to the Stanley Cup Final again, potentially winning it. And there's still a lot of good talent on the ice. For sure, the salary cap went down a little bit as a result of the CBA. But at the same time, the talent's still there to shine. There's still a lot of superstars, and thankfully we're in a much better place than we were last year.
Well, you stole my answer. I was also going to say that I was thankful that we had hockey this season for a full season. But I'm also thankful that we're here and that we're doing Bruins Daily TV this year. And I'm thankful for all the other great things that Thanksgiving is good for our family and friends and good health and food and all those wonderful things as well. So there's a lot to be thankful for this year. And the Red Sox won a world championship.
Yes. Before we go, favorite part of Thanksgiving for you? Favorite food for Thanksgiving, for that matter?
Dessert. My mom's chocolate cream pie.
You like the chocolate cream pie? I'm going to go pumpkin pie. It's the last time you can really have pumpkin during the fall season. It really goes bad afterwards. So one last taste of pumpkin pie is definitely a good thing for me.
All the pies are good. I like the pie. Well, that concludes our Drop the Glove segment this week. A lot of fun topics to discuss as always.
We'll be off next week to enjoy the stuffing, the cranberries, the turkey, the pies. And we also have a Black Friday showdown with the Bruins and Rangers on national television.
Yes.
But as well as enjoying time with friends and family. That's what really Thanksgiving is for, I believe.
That's true. Well, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. For Tim and I and all of us here at Studio 73 at Suffolk University, we wish you and your families a very happy Thanksgiving, and we'll catch you next time on Bruins Daily TV.
Gobble, gobble.